Hey guys, welcome back. Jordan here with the Nutty Gnome Homestead. Today is October 16th, 2023, and we are out here in the greenhouse doing a little propagation before winter sets in. This isn't the ideal time to be doing some propagation, but I'm getting ready to cut back my figs for the winter, and instead of just throwing the sticks into the trash, we're going to try to propagate them. So let me turn you guys around here and I'll show you what we've been doing. Okay guys, so this is one of my Chicago hardy figs, and it is relatively cool out here for this time of year. It's in the low 40s right now in the evening. I don't think it's going to be much longer before we get our first frost. Our typical first frost date is October 15th, I believe. Somewhere around there, but typically we don't get our first frost until end of October, beginning of November. So as you guys can see, I do have a couple figs left on these guys. These bigger ones may make it. Some of these smaller ones, I don't know if you guys can see down there, right there, they're probably not going to make it. So I don't have the room. Here's another Chicago hardy. I don't have the room in the house or in the garage to put these guys in out of the elements over winter. So what I do is I cut them back, mulch them in good. I'll actually wrap our tubs, and then I'll put them on the south side of a house or the greenhouse or whatnot, just so they can absorb the most amount of sun and that this big pot doesn't freeze solid. And that seems to work for us. These will put up new shoots from the roots every year, and as you can see, they'll get about 5 foot tall and actually produce some figs. Now, since I'm cutting these back instead of throwing away the cuttings, I'm going to propagate them, and I've already got some started so I can show you guys the process. Basically, I'm going to cut these back to about 12 to 18 inches tall. That way, so it makes it easier for me to wrap. Now, I'm not going to show you guys that. It's pretty self-explanatory. So let me get that done, and I'll take you guys back inside the greenhouse. Okay, guys. So for the sake of time, I'm not going to show you the cuttings. They're pretty self-explanatory. I made another video on that before, and how we get those propagated. Here's some that we've already started. As you guys can see, we got our moist sand down in here. We've got 2 Chicago hardy fig cuttings already started. We have some Olympian figs, and these have been in the sand for about 3 weeks. Look at the root systems these guys have after just 3 weeks of being in that sand. That's crazy. You guys are going to have to bear with me. I'm doing this all one-handed. So I'm going to pull these out. These haven't been pulled out. These other ones have. These Olympian figs have. This here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze the pot a little bit, try to loosen up the sand. And I'm going to try to get in here real close to where you guys can see. There's one. You don't want these guys to have or pull apart any of these roots whenever you're doing this. So take your time. That's why I like doing sand. They pull out very easy. A lot easier than if you're using potting mix. I'm going to tap these lightly. I just rinse these off. And look at the roots on these guys. 3 weeks in the sand. Look at those roots. And those were just some cuttings that would have been thrown away had we not propagated them. That's crazy. So I got you guys set up on the tripod. You're going to have to bear with me. I'm dealing with an injured hand at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these guys potted up in their own pots. So as you guys can see, these have some pretty good roots on it. I've got some of our homemade potting mix. We've already made that video. It's our vermiculite compost and peat moss. You can use perlite too. It is a little cheaper. I'm going to go ahead and get these guys buried deep. Remember, we're getting ready to go into winter. These guys are going to be somewhat protected in the greenhouse, but our greenhouse is unheated. So I want to make sure that these guys are actually going to survive. So I get this down in there, several inches, and then I'm just going to go ahead and start filling this up. Now, I really like these Chicago hardy figs and the Olympian figs. They are hardy here in Zone 6B, Southern Illinois. It can be extremely cold a lot of times. Our cold weather doesn't get here till February, sometimes March, and even later. So I'm going to get this guy put in here pretty good, about like that. And I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these guys finished up. Okay, so that only took about 5 minutes, and as you can see, we have our 2 Chicago hardy figs and our 5 Olympian fig cuttings that we've got propagated and rooted already. Now, as I said, you guys can actually get propagations like this in about 3 weeks after this. So in approximately a month and a half, you can go from a fig cutting where it looks like a stick like that to where they actually put out the roots and top growth to where they actually start growing. Now, these guys here, I might take some of these into the house. These are a lot smaller, a lot more compact. These would be easy to move around than those big 30-gallon mineral tubs. Let me show you guys one more trick for whenever you're propagating in the late fall, early winter, early spring, where it can still get cold really quick and sometimes all of a sudden. Now, I want you guys to know this is going to be a really expensive tip here. I don't know any other way to do it, but let me show you what I'm going to do. If it's going to be cold, you want to make sure these plants get plenty of humidity. So a really inexpensive way to do that is get some of these clear Dixie cups from Dollar General. It doesn't have to be name brand, so long as they're clear or opaque. You want to be able to get some light through. Boom. You guys got your own little humidity dome. Guys, it's really that simple. Each one of these plants will cost me $30 to $40 if I bought them from the store. I'm getting them from cuttings that I would have thrown away otherwise. Take another one of these clear plastic cups. Boom. Guys, it really is that simple. I'm just trying to help you learn how to do this so you guys can help yourselves. Like this guy here, a little big. That one, I may actually have to trim up that leaf a little bit, but that's fine. Put one on there. I may have some bigger cups laying around. I'm a big fan of reduce, reuse, recycle. Unfortunately, living out in the country, you do get people throwing trash out on a regular basis. I don't have any cups big enough for those guys. I just went for a walk down my road a few minutes, and look what I found. Plastic cup. Makes me sick to see this on my road. This is where I live. I can't stand people dumping trash in the country, but if you can't catch them, you can't stop them. So let me show you guys. Boom. Little humidity dome. If you don't have any of those, cut the bottom out of a milk jug. That's right over top of these. Right over top of these little pots here. Does very well. Acts as a humidity dome. It's going to give these guys the moisture retention that they need to put on some decent growth here in the next couple of weeks before it gets really cold. So that was just a quick video on how to propagate fig cuttings in the fall. It's not ideal, but it can be done. This is proof that it can be done. We've been doing this for a while. Figs are one of those plants that if you can get them growing in your area, you'll always have a food source. These figs here, the Chicago Hardy and the Olympian, they both are heavy producers. You can oftentimes get 2 crops out of this 1 year out of these figs. Both of them have a high sugar content. They're good for drying or eating fresh or whatever. So if you guys have any questions about fig cuttings, please feel free to shoot me a message or contact us over on Nutty Gnome Homestead on Facebook. I would appreciate it if you guys would like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, get out there and do your fall propagation, guys. You still got time to do it. We'll see you.